There are many different types of woodworking plane, from the large ones like this for doing edges of long boards to really tiny ones like this for doing very fine finishing work. For the purposes of today's video, I'm just going to pick this one in the middle because most of the functions that are on this are available in most other planes. This bit here is called the cap iron, and that holds everything firmly in place. It holds in the blade and the chip breaker, and then we have the body of the plane here. The blade or iron is held in place by the chip breaker. When you're putting on or removing it, try and keep away from the blade on this. You can see that the blade has an angle on it for the cutting edge. This is called the bevel. Some planes have a bevel up, some have a bevel down. This particular one is bevel down, but this one has a bevel up. But you can see that the angle of the blade is a lot more shallow than in this one. Again, putting the chip breaker on, which allows the wood to come out of the way, slowly come up to the edge, so you've got about a millimetre showing at of the blade. Tighten the screw by hand a little bit to hold it in place, and then make sure it's really firmly down by using the cap iron as a screwdriver. This should not slide. Now I'm going to put the iron back in. You can see how the chip breaker here will allow the wood shavings to come away from the blade. It should be locked firmly in place, and using this lever on the back called the lateral adjust, it should allow the blade to turn left and right. This screw here adjusts how much force the cap iron places onto the blade. You don't want too much and you don't want too little. This is too little because it's moving around. If I tighten it up a little bit by hand, I can still feel that it's moving ever so slightly. So if I take it out, turn the screw a little bit more, a quarter of a turn is probably enough, and you want to hear a little bit of a snap when you move the lever down, but it shouldn't move everything too much. This wheel here advances the blade forwards and backwards. This allows you to take a deeper cut in the wood. When setting up the plane, you want to have just a little bit of the blade poking out. Here is far too much. The blade won't cut because it's taken too much of an aggressive cut into the wood. So I'm going to take the wheel back all the way so the blade is not showing. Now, with the blade only just poking out, I use the lateral adjustment lever to make sure it's all level. You can fine adjust that by sighting down the sole of the plane. We want to see just a tiny amount come in. Whenever I'm moving my hands across the blade, I'm always doing it from the back of the plane to the front of the plane, never the other way around, so the cutting edge isn't going into my hand. So I can see a little bit of the blade poking out now, but I want to make sure that it's even all the way across. I don't want more of the blade on the right hand side than there is on the left hand side. To test whether I've got everything working right, I'll put a piece of wood in the vise, and I'll start by putting my hands on the plane, one on the front, one on the back, and one finger on the edge of the blade. Now I'm turning the wheel as I'm moving forwards, and I'm waiting for that blade to cut into the wood. keep doing this until I get a really fine shaving. And there it is. The plane is nicely set up. Watch the other video on sharpening for information about how to maintain the edge of the iron.